Hey boys and girls, we are going to be playing with pull-ups today. And I've got the playground here at Country Hills behind me. It's got a great set of monkey bars, rings, straight bars, so we have a lot of variety to show you. But the first thing we gotta do is we gotta talk about why in the world would anyone want to work on doing pull-ups? And the first answer is they're fun. It's a fun way to just challenge yourself and see what you're capable of doing. But we also want to build up our grip strength, our arm strength, our upper back strength, so that we can play on the monkey bars and the rings and the straight bars. If you don't have the strength in your hands, in your arms, you won't be able to use the monkey bars, you won't be able to climb trees and do the kinds of things that kids are supposed to be doing. It's a way of playing, so think of it that way. And we've got variations for you regardless of your ability level. If you're someone who can't do a pull-up, that's okay. We've got stuff for you. If you're someone who can do a couple pull-ups, we've got different versions to show you. And if you're really skilled at pull-ups, we've got some interesting ways to challenge yourself. Now, aside from being fun, there are some other benefits to being able to do pull-ups and pulling type motions with your arms. First thing is if you are doing any sort of push-ups or dips, we want to balance those push-ups out with the pulling motion. So we want our body to be balanced from the left side to the right side and from the front to the back. So if I've got a lot of push-ups in my program, I need to balance them out with rowing or pulling motions. Second thing is if you're in a sport or an activity that has overhead motions with your arms, like spiking a volleyball or throwing a baseball or a football, you're gonna wanna make sure that your shoulder stays healthy by having a lot of strength on the back of that shoulder, the pull-up muscles. And then we also have posture. A lot of our posture comes from our back strength or our lack of strength. So if you find yourself in this sort of hunched over posture where your back is what we call kyphotic, it's rounding at the top, the pull-up motion can help strengthen those muscles that keeps your spine nice and straight. And if you're dealing with ailments like scoliosis or things of that nature, this is a great way to kind of help keep you where you're at so it doesn't get worse. So follow along as we start out showing you different ways to play with pull-ups. Now, before we get started on our different pull-up variations for today, I want you to know that there are different ways to grasp the bar, different grips with your hands. So let's talk about the terminology and what makes them different. And the first grip is gonna be the classic chin-up grip. Looks like this. As I grab the bar, I'm gonna have my palms facing me, and I'm gonna grab the bar so that I can see my fingers and my palms. This is called a chin-up. Now, if I want to do a pull-up grip, it's a little bit more difficult on your arms just because of the muscles that are being worked. I'm gonna put my palms facing away from me. So now when I grab the bar, I'm looking at the back of my hands. This is what is known as a pull-up grip. And there's a third grip that is known as a neutral or hammer grip, and it looks like this. If I've got rungs on a monkey bar, if I grab those rungs so that my palms are facing each other or my fingertips are facing each other, this is a neutral grip. Now, if we go over to the rings, you'll see that the rings are kind of already hanging in a neutral grip position. So as I grab them, I can be in the neutral grip, but because they're rings, I can rotate them to more of a chin-up grip or more of a pull-up grip. So it gives you a little bit more variability here because they're not stable. Let's start our pull-up progress by showing you the first variation, and it is just a simple bar hang. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find a bar that's high enough that you can hang from without your knees touching the ground, hopefully your feet, and you can get in a chin-up or a pull-up grip. Mrs. Worrell is in a pull-up grip here, and she's just picking her feet up off the ground and she's hanging. This will help develop the strength in your arms, specifically your forearms, that's your grip strength, and also it'll develop some strength in your shoulders. Now, you might only be able to hang for 5 or 10 seconds at first, but if you do this on a regular basis, you can build up some strength and some ability, and you can stretch that hang out to 30 seconds or even a minute. But once you're hanging for 30 seconds to a minute, you're ready to move on to the next variation. The second variation of progressing through pull-ups is another beginner move called a chin over bar hang. In this move, you'll grab a chin-up grip, you'll pull yourself up or jump yourself up, and you'll hold yourself with your chin over the bar for as long as you can. Now, if you start and you're not able to hold it for more than a couple seconds, that's okay. You'll build up strength over time, but you definitely want to progress this to at least 10 seconds and hopefully work your way up to 30 seconds holding your chin over the bar. The third variation in our series is called a negative chin up. Now, negative means we're only gonna do the second half. So we're not gonna pull ourselves up. We're actually gonna jump ourselves up until we're chin over the bar, and then we're gonna lower for 5 seconds. 1 macaroni, 2 macaroni, 3 macaroni, 4 macaroni, 5 macaroni. And Mrs. Worrell was able to control herself all the way down. If 5 seconds is too long for you, then lower for 2 to 3 seconds. If you can handle going more than 5, then go for 10 seconds. But the point here is that by lowering yourself down and controlling your descent, you are going to build the eccentric strength in those back muscles, and it'll get you closer to being able to pull yourself up to the bar. For our fourth variation, we're gonna show you an assisted chin up. Now this requires a partner or a spotter, but Mrs. Worrell is gonna use the chin up grip that we've already shown you, and I'm gonna support her feet, and she is gonna push as much as she needs to help herself pull up over the bar. Only use as much support as you need, because we want our arms doing the work, not our feet. So let's see what it looks like. She's grabbing in a chin up grip, she's crossing her feet, and then I'm just supporting her feet, and she's pushing as much as she needs to help her arms. Make sure you go all the way up and then all the way back down. And do as many as you can, but you want to do multiple sets here. So instead of doing one set, as many repetitions as possible, try and do a few repetitions before you get completely exhausted, and then do a couple sets of them. Now that we're through the beginning levels of how to build up strength for pull-ups and chin-ups, now you're gonna see some variations for people who can do at least one. Remember, getting one chin-up or pull-up is the hardest thing to do. So if you don't have them yet, follow those previous progressions, work them as long as it takes until you're able to do one pull-up or chin-up by yourself. Once you get one, you'll be able to add multiple repetitions fairly easy. So let's show you the first one. The classic chin-up grip is palms facing me. I'm gonna hang from the bar, straight elbows at the bottom, pull myself chin over bar, and then lower back down. That's what we know as the classic chin-up. It is the easiest of the grips because I have a lot more recruitment of the muscles on the front of my arm. That's called your biceps, but I'm still using the back muscles like usual. Front of my arm, that's called your biceps, but I'm still using the back muscles like usual. The next grip is harder, but only slightly, and that is the neutral grip. So now I'm gonna grab the rungs of the monkey bars. My palms are facing each other in that hammer grip we taught you earlier, and I'm gonna do the same motion. Start straight arms, pull over the bar, and lower back down. Now the third grip is the hardest, and that is the pull-up grip. This is where my palms face away from me. This is harder because we're not using as much of the bicep as we were on the chin-ups and the neutral grip, okay? So this is almost all back muscle. Hang, pull, and lower back down. Two of the most common mistakes on doing pull-ups is number one, you don't start from a straight arm hang. And it's okay, we know why you don't start from a straight arm hang, because starting with your elbows straight makes it harder, but that's a true pull-up or a true chin-up, is starting from a dead hang where your elbows are straight. So make sure when you pull yourself up that you are coming all the way back down. This would be a mistake because I kept my arms bent. You're gonna be able to do a lot more of those, but you're gonna be weak in the bottom. Second most common mistake is when pulling up to the top of the pull-up or chin-up. If you can't pull all the way to your chest so your chin is over the bar, a lot of people reach their chin. We don't wanna do that. We wanna just keep our head on straight like it is and pull ourselves over the bar, aiming for the chest by touching the bar to our chest. Those are the two common mistakes. So as you're training your pull-ups, make sure you don't make those mistakes. You just keep your arms straight, go all the way up, all the way down. Once you've gotten good at the chin up, the neutral grip, and the regular pull up, now it's time to start challenging yourself with some other variation. They're gonna be more difficult, so don't go here until you're ready. But these are narrow grips. And what the narrow grip's gonna do, it's gonna bring your hands closer together, and it's gonna require more strength from the biceps. So you're still using your back muscles, but now your biceps are being challenged a little bit more. So we can start in that narrow chin up grip. So get your hands as close together as you can. Your pinkies will be almost touching. Make sure you start straight arms, pull up, lower all the way down. The hardest one on the narrow grip is going to be the pull-up grip. So it's double overhand. My thumbs are almost touching. Hang, pull, lower down. Make sure you keep your head on straight. Make sure you start with straight arms and go as high as you can, and then lower back down to straight arms. And go as high as you can, and then lower back down to straight arms. Now, the opposite of the narrow grip is going to be the wide grip. So you can do wide grip chin-ups and pull-ups. Let me show you the wide chin-up first. Wide would be anything wider than your shoulder. So I'm going to go out super wide here. So I've got 3 rungs in front of me that I'm outside of. Notice my hands are wider than my shoulders, and I'm going to pull. It's the exact same pulling motion, but my hands are wider. It's going to involve a lot more of your lat muscles and your back muscles. Hands are wider. It's going to involve a lot more of your lat muscles and your back muscles. But there are 2 ways to do the wide pull-up grip. You can do the overhand grip and pull to your chest. Make sure you are as wide as you are comfortable going. But there's a second way you can do that wide pull-up, which is pulling behind your neck. So you get the same wide grip, but instead of pulling to your chest this time, you're going to pull the bar behind you and try and touch yourself on the back of the neck with the pull-up bar. And again, those are more demanding on your lat muscles. Those are the little wing-like muscles that you see on the back here, very common in swimmers. So let's show you now the mixed grips. The mixed grip is simply taking one hand and holding the bar like a pull-up, and the other hand is grasping the bar like a chin-up. Now the cool thing about this is you can change the grip. You can pull yourself up on one side and then pull yourself up on the other side. And you can walk yourself up and down the bar. It's going to require a little bit more bicep strength on the lead arm. So if my left hand is closer to my face, that arm's going to be doing a little bit more work. But this is going to be more similar to doing a rope climb, as you might see in a gymnastics facility or the old school training gyms. And rope climbs are just another way of pulling using your back muscles and your arms, but it's a way that you can develop some strength to get to that progression later on. So now that you've seen all of our different pull-up and chin-up variations, it's your turn to find a bar or a set of monkey bars somewhere and start working on them on your own. Remember, start at your level. If you just need to work on hanging from a bar for as long as you can, that's great. That's where you're at. That's what you need to work on. If you want to start playing around with some of the other variations, some of the chin-ups, the pull-ups, the narrow grips, the wide grips, start challenging yourself, or simply see how many of each you can do in a row without stopping, that would be great. Just make sure that you're getting permission to go to a nearby park or facility that has some monkey bars. Make sure you're being safe about it. So don't try anything you're not ready for. But all it's going to take is some practice, some regular dedicated practice. So do this once a week, twice a week, and you'll be able to develop the kind of strength required to be able to do multiple pull-ups.